Okay, episode 2 opens with Kate basically wanting to know why Aqua kind have picked Barclay. Out of all the people on the planet, why is this random bloke who books taxis now all of a sudden being picked? Even though they know, I found it a bit odd that they were just, Salt literally goes, here's video evidence of why we're picking this guy, and then Kate's like, I want every text message, every backstory of this guy, I want to know why he's so important, and they've literally just gone, well, this is why, and then they've showed you, so I don't really understand the motive behind that. Maybe they think there's something else going on, I suppose. But Kate is sort of, what's the word, like, interrogating Barclay, and she's sort of like, she's been very firm with him, and she ate it, is that the... She ate, and Kate being the big dog of unit really does shine this episode, like with the gun as well. I've seen loads of people mention it when Barclay gets in the cab with Kate and he's like, don't shoot me, and she's like, oh, I forgot my gun, and then opens her blazer and she's like, oh no, I didn't, it's here. Obviously she's winding him up. Good writing. Pete McTighe, this is his first episode of the series. Russell and Pete wrote half each. I didn't realise this. I thought Russell just wrote the opener and then maybe the finale and then Pete did the rest, but no, they actually wrote half each from what it says online. Russell wrote episode 1, Pete wrote episode 2 and 3, and then episode 4 is written by both Russell T Davies and Pete McTighe, and then Russell wrote the finale as well. Russell's way of going about finales at the minute is not great, so I'm hoping it doesn't fall flat like that, but we haven't seen a Pete McTighe finale, so it could be worse. But people are begging for Pete to be the showrunner, like, get him on the Doctor Who showrunner job. I don't know, he's written some decent stuff, he's written some crap as well, so no offence Pete, I still love you, you're great. I watched his interview on the writer's room as well, very, very good, very, very good. I'm not going to beat around the bush, dance around the bush, whatever the phrase is. I'm going to just jump straight to that scene that we all know and love, or hate, or makes us vomit. Kate and Colonel Ibrahim having their little talk and touch on the balcony. Or I suppose it's not actually a balcony, it's the inside of the flat, but it looks like a balcony, so I'm going to say it is. Kate and Ibrahim, they're in a relationship, we know they are, and I felt quite sad. I always found them quite cute. Together I was like, they're cute. Now I feel a bit grossed out, because people online are comparing it to seeing your teacher in that sort of vulnerable state. I mean, let's be real. When you're in a sexual way with a partner, that's like your ultimate vulnerable state, right? That's like you at your purest, right? And it's a side you don't see to Kate because she's always so important. But it's, you don't see it, and it's a side you don't see to someone like your teacher or your nan. You know what I mean? It's like seeing that, and it's a bit like, ugh, I don't really want to see my teacher getting touched by some bloke and being like, oh, I'll take your mind off things. It's a bit odd, isn't it? And like, I sort of miss finding them a cute couple. Like when he'd bring her coffee in unit. In actual Doctor Who, he'd bring her coffee. Or he'd stay, if she was staying there late working, he'd stay with her. That was cute. That was a cute couple. And I was like, I'm glad that, even though I was on the side of Kate's a lesbian, it's like, well, she's found this guy she's happy with, I'm not going to moan about it, and I'm glad she's happy. And it's nice because someone like Kate doesn't get a life outside of unit with a normal person, because she's not allowed to talk about her day. She's not allowed to come home and just unload her gob about all the stuff she's seen that day, because she's not allowed to talk about it. So having someone like Ibrahim be there to comfort her, who's also on the inside of unit, works very well. But yeah, I just miss viewing them as this cute couple, because now I see them as this weird on-screen romance. I see them as two actors now. And again, I'm not quoting, but I'm saying what Ellie said of Who Culture, that Kate didn't seem too into it. Kate was just sort of there, and he was just sort of like kissing her neck, and she sort of just sat there like, just sort of not really vibing with it. She's definitely just thinking about work and looking into the distance outside. It just seems a bit like, it feels a bit like Torchwood of the, we're a grown-up show, guys. We're a grown-up show, so we're going to have people kissing and doing more inappropriate things every episode, and we're going to have swearing. It just feels like, that's not how real people act. I mean, it is how real people act, but it doesn't... There's got to be a reason we're learning about these guys, right? And it makes me think, is Colonel Sexy, as we call him, or Colonel Ibrahim, is he going to get killed off? Because why else would we be learning about this relationship other than they just assume we care because we like Doctor Who? You know what I mean? Everything happens for a reason in a TV show. And this is what I've learned recently when I started writing TV shows. I didn't realise this. Every line of dialogue, every shot, every scene is important. You don't just have a filler scene. You can have a filler scene, but it's still important. There's got to be an important reason why we're learning about these guys. It can't just be Pete going, it's Kate, guys, you like Kate, so watch it. Alright, there better be a reason. I'm hoping. Also, did the writers just forget that Kate's got 2 kids already? Like, we know so little about Kate apart from the fact that the Brigadier was her dad. Kate's got 3 kids. Cool, that's fine. I don't hate that. I think that's alright. But tell me, what happened with the dad of those kids? Where are the kids now? And is Ibrahim not a bit weird coming in to this house where there's 2 kids living? Or did the kid not live with her anymore? There's so many tick boxes that need to be, not tick boxes, I suppose questions that need to be answered that could so easily be done just by ticking a box and just saying, oh, you can stay around tonight, my kids are away, or something like that. Like, just something like that to just give us some sort of answer. Or when she's like, or when that scene happened, Kate could have been like, oh, my last husband, he was a horrible, horrible man, and I'm so glad I got rid of him now and I've got you. And that could explain that's where the kid's dad went. You know, just something so easy and throwaway that could just be done like that, I think would be the better option than just forcing this on-screen romance between 2 characters that we're supposed to care about. But the only reason we care about them is because they're building it to be something more, but they're building it to be something more because we care about them. It's an endless loop. It's a bootstrap paradox. You know, the only reason we care about these characters is because they're telling us to care, but the only reason they're telling us to care is because we care. You see what I mean? It doesn't work. So, yeah, I don't think it's bad though. And apparently Shirley's a Mrs. now. Has Shirley always been a Mrs.? I mean, I suppose we've never actually heard her be labelled as Miss or Mrs. But, I mean, that's quite sad if she was, because that means in Wish World, her partner just forgot her, which is horrifying. How did 14 know Shirley as well? Can you comment this below if you know the answer? In the Star Beast, the 14th Doctor sort of sits, doesn't he, where the alien crash happened. And Shirley comes wheeling out. And she's just sort of, she's there, and he's like, oh, here comes trouble. But especially that he's never met Shirley before, so how does he know who she is? Don't know. For some reason, Kate wants to keep the identity of Barclay a secret. I'm not too sure why. I think it's probably just to stop like an attack on Barclay and his family. But somebody leaks it. There's is she a French woman or something? She's like on the sideline and she leaks a picture of Barclay, and there's something going on there with her and her little gang. I didn't quite hear it. I haven't actually rewatched the 2nd episode yet, but I did watch it when it aired. But I was with my family and I think they started talking at this bit, and I was trying to make out what was going on. There's a secret group of people on the inside of UNIT who are, I think, planning to rebel against the Sea Devils. I think that needs to happen soon, because this episode, the Plastic Apocalypse, felt a bit stale at points. It just felt like some points were really, really good, and we'll get to those, but some of it was a bit like, you know, we didn't get much about why these people are doing what they want to do, or what. It just sort of seems like, oh, these guys are evil. They're evil guys, and that's it. That's all we get, so I don't know. Anyway, I feel like I'm doing a lot of moaning this episode. I did enjoy it, and I think the highlight for me was, and this is actually weirdly something people don't like, is the water scene, where the water scene in the War Between the Land and the Sea. But which one? The glass of water when they're back in, is it Empress House or Thames House, which is actually the Children of Earth place, weirdly. Is it the same room? It's not the same room. Something tells me it's the same room. I feel like the Children of Earth one was on the top floor though. This is the bottom floor. I don't know. Anyway, enough waffle about Children of Earth. I love Torchwood. This was brilliant. Where was I? Yes. Okay. So they're in Thames House or Empress House, and Salt says to the people, "Go and get a glass of water." And they go and get a glass of water from the Thames. Obviously, she says river water. They don't just go to the Thames. They get river water. Actually, I do have a little downside here. They go and get the river water, and it's all brown and grim, and they go, Barclay, drink it, and he goes, I don't want to drink it because it's bloody disgusting. And they go, yeah, exactly, this is what you've done to our water. You've made it grim. This does work as a good first impression for the Sea Devils, I think. Maybe I'd enjoy it more if I didn't, because I love the Sea Devils. It's my favourite classic serial. I mean, it's there. It's in, where is it? That way. There it is there, Sea Devils. It's my favourite classic story. of Doctor Who. And so maybe that's why I'm being a bit more critical of this. I did watch the redux of the original version, which you can watch my review of on the channel from a couple of months ago now, probably. Well, about a month ago, about a week ago. They go get the water, and yeah, and it explains, you know, and this is what I mean about what I said in the last episode, was how it's preachy, but not preachy. It is preachy, but it's done in a way that's acceptable to be preachy. You'd be fuming if your waters were polluted by the other species that you share the planet with. You'd be fuming. You'd be like, what are you doing? What are you doing it for? My one downside to this, the water in the river, the glass, is brown and grim and disgusting, and it's coming from the River Thames. Do you know what else is coming from the River Thames? That massive tank that we're looking at all the homo aqua and other aqua kind in. And that's crystal clear water. Now, headcanon can just be, it's filtered. The tank water's filtered, sure. But that's never explained to us. There's water coming from the tank. There's water coming from the Thames up the tube into the tank. Crystal clear. No explanation. Then they like to make a point, go to the river and get a glass of water. They get it and it's brown. So it doesn't make any sense. They need to explain to us, if the case is that the water is filtered, they need to make a case of saying, right, they could just say something, throwaway line, filtration on. When they're setting up the thing and they press the go button to fill the water in. Right, filtration on. That's all they need to do. They just need to say something like that, because the water is crystal clear, and then to make a point they make a whole point about how they don't have crystal clear water whilst swimming in crystal clear water. So, I don't know. I'm coming across really negative, aren't I? I don't mean to do that. I really am enjoying this series, and like I say, I've only seen the first 2 episodes. You're seeing this video when episode 5 is released, the whole serial's done. I've literally only seen the first 2 episodes. I'm reviewing this as it goes along. Let's talk about Salt turning into a male. This interested me, and I think I'm going to be negative again. I hate being negative. I did enjoy it. Right, okay, let me be positive first. I enjoyed it because a lot of aquatic animals can switch sexes in different moods, and cool. The only issue I have with it does sort of do a bit of disjustice to women. No? I don't mind anyone who sees this. That, you know, I'm Salt. Barclay, come and save me. Barclay, we need to work together to... No, stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking! I'm a man now, because I got angry. See what I mean? That's just how I feel. You know, she was very feminine, a bit of a male gaze, I suppose you could argue. Salt. And then all of a sudden when she gets angry, she's a man. So, and I'm not saying this is a disjustice to men. I'm not saying, you know, men are these angry creatures, that's what we're portrayed as. I'm saying, well, a woman can be angry. Show her being angry. That's what I'd rather have got her being angry than turning into a man. You know what I mean? But I did like it. I did like the scene. I did. I'm coming across very, very angry. Not angry, but very, very negative. And I don't mean to be doing this. I'm just giving my thoughts. Just know I love the episodes, okay? I did think this episode was weaker than the first one. But it's not bad. And then the big monumental ending was the pollution. They're sort of saying, well, you know, I didn't get the whole... I'll be negative again. I didn't get the whole, you know, you can't fly. Salt's being like, air travel off limits because the sky is the sea. What are you talking about? The sky isn't the sea. I don't want you chatting waffle now. You're chatting absolute waffle. But they basically sort of bounded everyone to the ground and to the land. Sort of like, well... We're the sea, you're the land, so you stay on the land. You don't cross our seas. Because they're refusing to do pollution cleanup sooner than 40 years' time. But if they physically cannot do it any quicker, what do you want them to do, Salt? And Salt's not happy, so she dumps all of the pollution, including like sunken ships, everything that came from us that's in the ocean, sent right back at us. And I did like the scene because it got dark. Right, Kirby, who is Barclay's child, I haven't actually touched on them at all. Barclay's got a non-binary child called Kirby, and a wife who I think is diabetic, or an ex-wife, sorry, who's diabetic, I think. And they're cool characters. There's not a lot that's been spoken about them apart from the fact that they all still get on very well. Apart from the fact that it's his ex-wife. They still have a good bond. Maybe it's just for Kirby, but who knows? And Barclay, not Barclay, Kirby, and I've really forgotten Kirby's mum's name, but they're in the cab driving to, I'm not actually sure, I've forgotten where they're driving to, but they're in a cab, and the cab driver basically just gets killed by this thing that fell through the windscreen. That was dark. I mentioned last episode about how when salts like these are my dead children. This was very similar. We've seen a guy actually get killed and a dead body just sat there. We did see that in episode 1 as well, the hand in the ground. We didn't properly get a look. This was like, there's an actual dead guy in the front seat of the car, like, whoa. It took me aback, and I was like, whoa, that's dark for Doctor Who universe. But I did like it, and like I say, I want this to be very much like Children of Earth, and that felt Children of Earthy. And then Kirby goes out running. I mean, it's very stupid. You'd stay in the car, wouldn't you? Or you'd park up next to a building and then get out. The world, they all turned really stupid at that point. I'm not sure why. I think it's because they needed a good thing for the trailers. The big anchor that Barclay saves Kirby from getting hit by, that was tense. I was watching this with my mum and dad. I told them, let's watch this. This will be good. I know it'll be good. And they thought that Kirby's mum was going to die in the scene with the apocalypse, the plastic apocalypse. Didn't, but I think I can sense a death from Kirby's mum and Barclay's ex-wife. I can see that happening. Or maybe Colonel Ibrahim. But the only thing I think about Colonel Ibrahim not getting killed is because this was set before season 2, I'm pretty sure. The Doctor references are odd. There's a lot of Doctor references in this episode and in the first episode. It just feels like you could just not have them there. They're not needed. You don't need to have them there, Kate. Kate was badass though when they were dropping plastic. She ran and she was like, "You have to stop." We saw it in the trailers. Cool. Again, it didn't feel dark enough. That I can't describe it. When I first saw that trailer for the first trailer of The War Between the Land and the Sea, I thought this is going to be dark TV drama like Children of Earth, and it didn't quite live up to that. And that's the main reason why I feel a little bit deflated by it. But like I said, I've only seen the first 2 episodes. We'll have to wait and see for the 3rd and 4th and 5th, which you've already seen. Lucky you. I haven't seen it. Monumental cliffhangers. They're just another... Okay. So I'll leave you on a monumental cliffhanger here. Shall we dive into episode 3's synopsis and review? Okay.